Okay, so just to review this evening, we're going to have two meetings. We're actually going to start with the public hearing.
Oh, hey, nice to meet you, man.
I talked to you a couple minutes ago about herbicide.
Okay, yeah, we'll chat.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna talk.
All right, so we will start this. It is 6 p.m. on Monday, April 15th, 2024. We will start with a public hearing on Ordinance 02401, the combined annual budget and appropriations for the Park District of the Grange. Jenny, would you mind taking a roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Veer?
Here.
Commissioner Lacey? Commissioner Posey? Commissioner Shabado?
Here.
President Opid.
Here. Let's see, the purpose of the meeting today is to have a public hearing on Ordinance 2501, the combined annual budget and appropriations ordinance. And it's an opportunity for the public to comment on the budget that has been on display for 30 days. So at this point, I will ask for any public comments on the budget, particularly. There are none.
I'm not informed enough to make a comment on that.
Okay. If there are no further comments on the budget, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes. All right, so let's start on our second meeting in the evening. It is 6:01. Welcome to the regular board meeting of the Park District of Grange on Monday, April 15th. I'll first ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Veer?
Here.
Commissioner Lacey? Commissioner Posey? Commissioner Shabado?
Yes, President.
President Opid.
Here. Thanks for joining us this evening. Jenny, are there any changes or adjustments to the agenda this evening before we begin?
We will, yes. The adjustment to the agenda is 8.2. We will be discussing that in closed session, executive session versus under new business.
Okay, great. I think the first order of action this evening then is an appointment of a deputy recording secretary. Linda Muth and recording secretary Natalie, is it Fackelman or Fackelman?
Fackelman.
Fackelman, by the Board of Commissioners. I think we need a motion for that, right?
Correct.
So moved. Second.
I'll ask for a vote.
Okay. Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes. All right, now we will move to agenda item 2.0 and 2.1. This is an opportunity for public comments and participation. If you'd like to make a comment, please stand, state your name and your address, and I would be happy to hear from you.
My name is John Pluto. I live over at 718 East Avenue, just right around the corner from Sedgwick Park, nearby. There's a problem that I see, and I've dealt with it for the last 5 or 6 years and talked with people at the district about their turf management, herbicide, and their herbiciding around all the fences, under the bleachers, so forth. Okay, now I understand what the state law says. The state law says 1 day is all you got to put the flag out for. I believe. Read it again because that was a couple weeks ago I read it. I think we need to be more proactive on our flagging because I talked with Claudia a few days before this and there was one flag that was over at East Avenue by a little tree close to East Avenue. And I called to find out what it was and she shot me the PDF files for what it was and I went and looked up the MSD sheets. Well, it's not the greatest stuff in the world, okay? I wouldn't want to be breathing it and rolling in it, okay? And I don't care after a day. You know, the turf management stuff that they did, the Escalade that they put on, that's another item. Residential houses get one sign. That's what a 27-acre park got, one sign, over by the flagpole, okay? I figure there should be 12 signs. The entrance to every place at the park on all the paths, the parking, a couple parking areas. And you guys are running some kind of daycare center or something there, that even comes under a different jurisdiction, where you would have to notify parents by cell phone, I believe, of applications. And the people that abut it on 10th Avenue, I believe that they're supposed to get notified. One of the ladies that's been living there for a number of years, she said that they used to get notified whenever they did a turf management, in past years. So I think we need to get proactive and a little better than the state law, than one day and one flag. Because I don't know if any of you people have young children or grandchildren. Would you want them rolling around or playing in that stuff 2 days or 3 days afterwards, after it's been applied? I wouldn't. I went through the park and there were people that were watching the baseball game, and there was some people with a young pup. And they were right in the heart of where everything was burned out. And I said, I don't want to alarm you too much, but this has all been herbicided. And they went, oh, and they moved. So this is a problem. We need to put flags down there and leave them for at least 2 or 3 rains, because this doesn't break down that fast. So I'm hoping that our park district can come up with a better solution to this one flag, one day routine. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for those comments, John. Appreciate it.
It's a common sense law, That's about all I can think of, because the state, in that state 11 pages says one day. So, but I think we could put a few more flags out.
Well, thank you for sharing your concerns. Additional comments?
Yeah, Rose Nassif, 911 South Stone. I agree with everything you said. For one, I can smell, I think I've contacted the Park District last year at Wyola when I walk. I can smell at least 24 hours longer, even smelling the application. I was informed that it was not toxic and was given some data sheets as well. But I don't even let my dog walk on parkways this time of year, any parkways to, go to the bathroom or anything. He goes in my yard, and parks used to be really kind of the only safe place for a while. The Park District wasn't using as many herbicides and pesticides, and it was kind of nice that he could walk freely on the grass. So, I would appreciate that. Actually, one of the things we've talked about in our environmental commission in Grange is even asking residents when they put their own, applications down, to maybe ask them to put a flag down too. So I, think that's a great idea. I'm here just kind of like the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I know I don't know the status of the referendum park process, so I hope to learn a little bit more about that. And just to urge, again, conservation-oriented approach toward the park development. I was reading a little bit on the National Recreation and Park Association, the role of parks and recreation and conservation. Parks are key, this is quoting from the website, key to ensuring the health of our environment because they play a critical role in maintaining healthy ecosystems, providing clean water and clean air, and enabling conservation of natural resources. So I'm really afraid of like toxic turf or artificial turf, which to me is very low. It creates heat island. It doesn't help the microclimate. And then there's asphalt, and there's grass, and then there's trees and native plants. So I'm here just to urge to continue to add native plants and trees in addition to maintaining our ball fields and courts as they are. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. Appreciate it.
Oh, one more thing. I'm loving the fitness center. I joined again after COVID, and it's so fun. It's really been lovely to see everybody, and it's just been great, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Any additional comments from the public?
Absolutely.
Okay. Great, let's move on to agenda item 3. 3.1 consent agenda. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting, March 11, 2024. Approval of the financial reports dated March 31st, 2024, and approval of the consolidated vouchers for April dated April 15th, 2024.
I have one comment that I mentioned to you earlier.
Sure.
On Jenny's new business on page 8. So if you read the last sentence in that, or the beginning of the next sentence, it says the remaining funds are in the positive except for the last 5. And before that, you're talking about the fund balances.
Right.
Well, you're not talking about the fund balances there. You're talking about the fund change. Correct?
No, we were still talking about the fund balances.
Being negative.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I think you should put a little something in there because the fund balances are negative, just the change in balances.
Well, except the last 5, so.
Yes. But the 5 are negative, the changes are negative.
No, we were talking about the fund balances.
Okay. Then I stand up.
Yeah, we were because we were talking, find it here. So. Page. Yeah. So if you look at, we were talking about, if you look at page 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually 6. The last 6 are in the negative. And that was because we were oh, you're right. Yep, it should be fund balance. Okay, we'll change that. So when whoever makes the motion, just as amended.
Yeah.
You're adding the last 5 balances? Is that?
Fund balance.
Last 5 fund balances?
Fund balance.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Commissioner Veer,
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado,
Yes.
Commissioner Posey,
Yes.
President Open.
Yes. Let's move to agenda item 4.1 under the title of staff reports. We'll start with the director's report this evening.
Okay. Well, first, we probably should have done this under announcements, but Mr. Shabado, congratulations. He's going to be a circuit court judge. So he will be stepping down as our commissioner. So thank you for your service and dedication to the Park District. You will be missed. I believe your last day will be the April 28th, 2024 with us.
That's correct.
So there are some cupcakes and brownies for everybody to indulge in for your last night. So feel free, anybody, to help yourself.
Wearing the black shirt, getting prepared.
So we will need to discuss the process moving forward. I also just wanted to mention that today, or over the weekend, Kevin, I did forward an email to you all this morning. I'm not sure if you saw it, but Kevin received some calls from AOISO this weekend commenting on how great the field conditions are. So it was quite refreshing. The Parks Department, Eric, has been working very, very hard on the ball fields and athletic fields, and it's definitely being noticed. So it's definitely positive. And with that said, I just want to thank Eric and even Kevin, because Kevin is spending his time out in the fields and he's short staffed. He's walking them, making sure they're good, they're communicating. So they've been working really well as a team. And they've just been working really, really hard. So thank you both. And it's definitely paying off.
You publicize that?
Email it, their email, put it in. So that was great. Also great is we've hired a new director of finance. Her name is Jamie Hollik. She'll be starting next Monday. She comes from the Village of Chicago Ridge. She's their current fiscal officer. She's been there for about 10 years, and she started in accounts payable, accounts receivable, and has worked her way up to the top position there. So we're very excited to have her join our team. Prior to the Village, she was at the Burbank School District as a grant and public relations coordinator, and she has a Bachelor's of Arts in Communication and Business Administration. So we are very excited to bring her to the team. The 2024 Park Plan proposal, we've been getting out into the community, meeting with different groups, putting on different presentations. We do have a community input meeting this week, Wednesday. That will be at the Recreation Center at 5:30. And there's going to be a brief presentation and then input from the public if they'd like. And then there's also another public information meeting on Saturday, April 27th at 9 a.m. and Monday, May 6th at 6:30 p.m. I will be attending the Village meeting on May 13th. So we will have to wrap up by 7:10 so I can get over there. But anyway, so just continuing to get out into the community. There is going to be another mailer coming out probably within the next week or two. We're finalizing that. And the feedback that's been coming in has been minimal, but there has been some feedback with some of the plans. There's a lot of feedback on the basketball courts and putting in full basketball courts, especially at Denning and Elm. Some questions about the bathrooms being taken out, paving Sedgwick, the parking lots, perhaps even the one at Gilbert exiting onto 41st. There's some concerns about that, and maybe just keeping the exit on Willow Springs. So again, there's been some feedback, but minimal feedback. We're keeping track of it all. And kind of navigating through it, and we'll bring it back and see how it affects the plans. Any questions about the 20? And then the survey will be coming out soon, so that will be coming out soon.
Refresh my memory, is a survey being emailed to every resident or just a statistically relevant sample? What was that?
No, every voting resident.
Okay, and when is that going out? Because I had some people asking, so I want to be able to...
It will be going out either the end of April or early May.
Okay.
So, and the envelope is marked time-sensitive material survey, so it's definitely branded so people will know it's a survey and not just junk mail, hopefully. And then there's another mailer going out probably within the next week or two. So we're finalizing that and getting that all tidied up. Any other questions on that? No? Okay. So we turned in, I'm going to move to Countryside. We need a little direction from the board so we can put something together for our next board meeting. So as you all know, the board decided to terminate the IGA with Countryside, and it will expire on June 12th, 2024 per our 90-day notice. So now we need some direction as to what we'd like to do with Countryside residents and what rates they will be assigned. So will they be assigned non-resident rates, or does the board want to evaluate putting them in the neighborhood network rate category? So I don't know if there's any thoughts on that. For our neighborhood network rates, there's 5 communities that receive that, which is a rate that's in between the resident and non-resident rate. It's going to be LaGrange Park, LaGrange Highlands, McCook, Western Springs, and Brookfield. So if we put Countryside in that category, that will be 6 communities.
What's the criteria for being in that category?
I don't think that it was the communities surrounding LaGrange is my understanding.
Okay.
But there's nothing written.
Okay.
Or
if that's the case, then they would certainly fall in that category. It's not really the residents' fault that we couldn't come to an agreement, a reasonable agreement with they're elected officials. So I would be in favor of putting them in that category.
Now, are these other surrounding towns giving us the neighborhood rates?
We do co-ops. The co-ops, Kevin, they get the reduced rate?
So we have co-op agreements with the Grange Park and Western Springs. So anything that we co-op with them that they host, we will get resident rates for. But we have to be a co-op partner on that specific program. If it's not a co-op program, then we would get the non-resident rate.
We're one of the only park districts that has this neighborhood network rate. It's not, most districts just have resident and non-resident.
I think, just refresh my memory, with the IGA, they get the network rate?
Resident rate.
Resident rate, okay.
You get the resident rate.
Instead, pool has
Yeah.
non-resident adjoining rates.
They
They have a
have,
median rate, like the Grange can go to their pool.
I think it's just on their pool though.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just on their pool rates, their pool passes.
I'd be in favor of maintaining the neighborhood network because it seems to be consistent. I think it would be strange to leave them out. So I think we should be consistent, all or none, in my mind.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Is there a concern, Jenny, with the fact that if we do that, if we agree, let's say hypothetically, to the neighborhood network, some of these individuals may have registered for summer programs now, right? So what's the approach with those programs?
So that's, I wanted to get through that first. So, so then we would look at, so there's different avenues, right? So there's fitness center memberships, there's rentals, there's programs, and then there's like walking track and open gym and top play. So for fitness memberships, we do have 9 memberships that are annual fitness center memberships. So we would let them finish out their payment, their membership. And then we would promote the new annual membership starting June 13th, that new rate. For the monthly fitness members, it would start, the new neighborhood network rate would start July 1st. Rentals, again, we would transition. We're not going to go back and charge people who already have them booked because they already have them booked. We want to make this as easy as possible on the residents. Again, it's not their doing. So those would transition. The programs, Kevin and I have spoke about this. The programs, we do have people who have signed up for summer camp. So we would prefer, staff would recommend that we just start for our fall session. Just to make it a smooth transition. It gives them notice if they need to go find, a different rate or a more economical rate for them, then they can start looking now. Base doesn't apply because they're out of district. Preschool, we do have 2 families that are currently enrolled for preschool for next year because we've already started that. And so I think we'd like to be able to grandfather them in, at least for this year. Kevin can add some information once I finish all this on that. And then the walking track and open gym and top play. Again, walking tracks are annual. So again, those would start once they renew. And open gym is a punch pass. So once they're out of their punches, they would start a new rate. And top play is drop in. So they would just pay as they go. So again, we're going to try to make this transition as easy as possible. And if the board is in agreement with this, then we'll have Dirk put together a resolution, or Ansel Gling put together a resolution on kind of the parameters of what we're looking at. Did you want to talk more about the preschool? And summer camp, again, we would definitely like to let them, it's only one family.
One family registered for all 8 weeks, so we would like to honor that rate for them. With preschool, we have 2 children in the program. One will be graduating next spring from the program, but the other one would be their first year in. They're 3 years, 4 months. Staff would like to potentially grandfather them in for their duration in the preschool program as opposed to just a year, but we're not married to that. We think that'd be a good olive branch for them, especially if they're first year program, they like it. It is, as they grow with the program, it can be a significant cost increase over the year. So it could be anywhere from $270 to $522 for the year.
So they're signed up
They are signed up.
for until finish when?
To start in September,
Oh, they're signed up to start in September.
September 20th.
My feeling is anybody who signed up to date, you're out of the contract for whatever duration they have,
Mm-hmm.
and then any renewals would be the new level. You don't want people to come in tomorrow and get,
Right.
you know.
Well, but I think what you're saying is that they'll register their kid is starting preschool, but there's years that they'll still have to register, which sounds like it's a little different than what you're
Yeah,
saying.
this would be the only case we would request.
Yeah.
Because they're already signed up. So if anybody else came,
No, but they were signed up though, right?
Correct, they're signed for 1 year, but they have potentially 3 years in the program. So for this family, not even this family, this individual child, if they have more kids after the fact, they pay the neighborhood network rate. But for this child, we feel it would be appropriate to grandfather them in for those 2 or 3 years through the program at the resident rate.
especially if they get to know the children they're with and different, yeah.
So you're just looking for consensus today?
We're looking for consensus today so we can put together a resolution to approve at the next board meeting.
I'm in favor of that. I think that sounds reasonable.
Consent.
Sure.
Okay, me too. So
Okay.
we'll ask Ansel Glink to put together a resolution.
Yep.
Proceed.
Yep. And then the only other thing under the countryside is going to be, we have our financial assistance policy, which I think is, I don't have it. I think it's 629, but we'll have to change that to remove countryside from receiving financial assistance because they're now not a resident. So, that policy will come within the next month's board packet too.
Have we done anything to notify people that are signed up that have been using our programs?
We were waiting for.
Yeah, we have not. We will start now because again, we needed direction from the board. So we will start, the planning process at how we're going to transition the system and what that looks like and start notifying everybody. But they, Countryside did send it out, so, to their residents, so.
I would like to see us be a little bit more empathetic in our emails, if that makes any sense.
Yes, we definitely will.
Yes, yes.
Well, yes, it's,
That would be my request.
yes, yes. So, and then the only last thing is men's league, and I think I'll throw this to you.
Yes. So I spoke with Kevin McNicholas, please, how you pronounce his last name? He kind of oversees the men's league that was renting through Babe Ruth all these years. They will now be required to rent through the Park District going forward. They have requested affiliate status. They are a registered 501. It's not a C3, it's a different nonprofit. That sounds about right. Most of their players, they claim the captains live in Grange, but the full makeup of the rosters are kind of spread out throughout the western suburbs. That fee difference would be $15 a game. So an affiliate would pay $50 and regular rental would pay $65.
Is that per hour or per game?
That is per 2-hour time block, so it'd be per game. They would have, the preliminary schedule for this season would be Sundays, 10 a.m., 12:30 p.m. on both prep and senior field for Babe Ruth. Their season goes May 15th through August 12th, something in that time block.
What is your recommendation based on our historic approach to granting people affiliate status?
Well, I think I don't think we're ready to grant them affiliate status, but we'd like to give them the fees for affiliate status this year, just because we are in a transition with prepping the fields. So we would like to extend the lower rate for them, not necessarily call them an affiliate at this time, evaluate how it goes, and then determine what we want to do next year. Men's League has come to us and asked us to take the program in-house. We're not ready to do it this year, but it is something we would look at next year. So that's why we don't really want to make any moves with making them an affiliate status, but we do want to offer them the lower rate just because we're going through this transition.
Refresh my memory, the Men's League was the one that was kind of subleasing, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Ruth at one point?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, we want to try to ease the transition. We kind of want to see how many hours we're putting in for labor and what it looks like, and then the fees will be reevaluated next year. So we would just like consensus to extend the lower rates to them from the board tonight and then reevaluate their status next year.
So my understanding is you want to give them affiliate rates, but not affiliate status.
Right.
And the negative for us, as far as them having affiliate status, would be what?
I think it opens up
Yes.
Pandora's box to any nonprofit requesting affiliate status.
And we're looking at it now with soccer and the different tiers. And so we're really trying to clean up how we're offering these affiliate statuses. And so we don't want to start offering more people affiliate status until we really figure out what it looks like.
Besides prices, what is the other benefit of being an affiliate?
Let me pull up the policy.
And you don't have to go deep into it.
As part of it would be, as an affiliate, you are kind of filling the gap in services that we're not able to provide.
Yep.
That'd be the bigger part of that pie.
Okay. There's not a lot of other benefits, really.
Is there any scheduling benefit, for example? I can't remember.
I think there's.
We had some
Yeah.
scheduling benefits, I thought.
They,
They get first.
Babe Ruth would still get first priority, so we have to, that'd be another thing we need to work out is, now that we have two affiliates on the same field, what's that priority level for requests? Because there's nothing in writing right now that's only Babe Ruth.
So if we do this right now, then Babe Ruth maintains first priority scheduling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the benefits that are listed in the policy is, they'd get some space in the brochure, which again, we're not, looking to do that. Bulletin board space, advertising space, facilities available for different meetings and things like that. So it gives them more access to different opportunities.
Even if we don't give them affiliate status, kind of based on the relationship, you don't foresee scheduling issues? I assume they kind of go as they
Yeah,
were.
both parties have been doing it for so long,
Right.
that there's that mutual respect. They know who uses the fields when.
Consensus? Oh, you okay with it?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, so you have consensus?
Perfect. Okay. And then the last thing I have is we're working through the punch list on the parking lot. So you may start seeing some more work in the parking lot. One of the items that is going to require some closure in the front lot is the ADA compliance with the tactile surfaces in the handicap spaces. They're not within the lines, the lining of the parking spaces. So we need to have those fixed. And so they're coming up with a plan as to how they're going to do that. I think the left side, they're just going to try restriping it. The right side, they may need to take out some concrete and re-put it back in. So we're waiting for that. But they will start doing the landscaping and fixing some of these other punch list items. So if you see them working out there, that's what they're doing. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
No, thank you. We'll move to Kevin for the Director of Recreation report on athletics, fitness, and so on.
I don't have a whole lot to add to my report. Biggest thing I wanted to highlight was we are in the process of planning out the Grange Country Jam. That date is Saturday, August 10th from 2 to 8 p.m. at Gordon Park. We've had a couple of meetings with Milk Money Brewery. They will be providing beer for the events. They are looking to create a the Grange Country Jam beer, as well as possibly another drink. We are working with some different restaurants in the area that have food trucks. So we'll bring out 4 or 5 for the events. I've been kind of playing phone tag with the village to get some approvals and get their blessing on certain elements within it. There will be 3 country bands that we are soliciting to play, most of them local. We're trying to keep this as local as possible with every avenue that we're exploring, with entertainment, with food, beer. So, answer any questions on that event.
I have one. Are we going to make this an annual event? Is that the
Yes.
vision? So if we name it the Country Jam, is it always country music?
That is correct.
Okay.
Some of the country acts we're looking at, they do borderline country rock.
Okay. So there's going to be some Skinner, is what you're telling me. I'm okay with that.
So I'm not knowledgeable of country music too much, but my kids do like going to events that do the line dancing, so I think that should be implemented for a fun time and bring some kids out too.
There is a vendor I've seen at a showcase that does just that.
Yeah.
She will get up on stage and lead with whoever's playing line dancing for that 45-minute time.
Yeah, they'll get people drinking and dancing to that.
Sounds great. I'm excited. Thank you for coming up with some novel ideas. I think I'm hearing from the community they'd love to have something, so it's nice to see something coming together.
Yeah, our recreation supervisor, Brandon Diaz, this was his idea and his baby. He's put a lot of work into it, so he gets a lot of that credit.
Anything further, Kevin?
No, it's just questions on my report. It's just a busy time of the year, getting ready for summer.
You can get your new dance instructor up there too.
If there's nothing further on recreation, Eric, why don't you give us any comments on the park maintenance area?
All athletic fields are now open for the season. That was the first week in April. That's soccer and baseball and softball. We'll start weekly and monthly inspections on both of those to try to keep everything up to par. And then just trying to train staff to get everything operational now, which is going to be a challenge, but we'll figure it out. An exciting project that we do have, it's a service project. A gentleman named Henry Gale, he's a Lyons Township high school student. He approached park staff in 2003 in August. We decided as a staff he's going to do a project on the north side of this building. He's going to redo the bed over there. It's going to extend 4 feet. He's going to cultivate, add some plant material, and then he's going to mulch it. That project will be completed May 11th, so I kind of been working with him to make sure everything's organized, and he seems like he's got a great understanding of what's needed over there. 8 commemorative trees will be planted. That will be late April, early May. We're working with the contractor to get those in. We continue to work hard, as most of my reports on this, the trash and doggy pots. That continues to grow as more people are out there using the parks. Same thing with the playground inspection. We want to make sure we're jumping on that monthly. One big thing, we finished all the spring cleanup related to grounds. So now we're going to start some of the mowing and just weed whipping and getting everything looking great out there. Again, same thing. If you have any questions, no?
I wanted to share with you some comments I got from some encounters with residents. Basically, it was they see you and they're aware that there's work happening. So I thought that was nice that the community is actually noticing the change you're having, Eric, so keep it up. They've made comments that, wow, I see staff doing stuff in the parks, and I think that says a lot, so thank you.
The trees, are you worried about the locusts, cicadas?
Just the younger trees, that's the only thing that really gets affected.
I mean, they eat plants.
Yeah, I know. We do, there are options, we can cover them, so I am looking at some covers. But again, the cicada is more of a nuisance than anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could go out there and spray, but I don't want that approach. It just, already with the turf and stuff, it just, I think the best thing is just to manage it daily and monthly and just see where it goes. But definitely on the radar from what the reports are saying.
Any other questions for Eric?
Oh, I did want to say we did get a really great piece of equipment for athletics. It's an overseeder. We just got it last week. That's really going to improve the playing surfaces, and let's start around May to start redoing some of the fields. So that's a really cool piece that we just got. It's going to bump up our turf.
And I do want to add that he posted all the surplus on Gov Deals, and how much? About
36,000. Worked hard, a lot of back and forth, but yeah, we got about $36,000.
And so that's how we were able to purchase some of this equipment.
That's great.
Stuff that's been sitting in the shop for years, and again, that was staff that helped me with a lot of the pictures, but a lot of back and forth on that website, but we did a good job.
Love to hear that. All right, if there's nothing else for staff reports, are there any updates from the attorney this evening? We have a special guest.
Thank you. No report today from Ansel Glink.
Okay, great. Any treasurer report this evening?
No report.
All right, let's move to action items. The first action item here is discussion and/or approval of Ordinance 02401, the combined annual budget and appropriations ordinance for the District of Grange fiscal year 2024 to 2025.
So you also have in your board packets the budget, right? So I detailed out, I'm not going to go through the whole budget again, we did that last meeting, but the changes are detailed out here under the implications in our memo. So we did add in, we've been talking to a lot of other districts, and we still have 2 full-time open positions right now that we are trying to fill in the recreation department. And so we did look at our salaries overall for part-time and full-time. So we did make some adjustments there, trying to increase some wages so we can be more competitive. So that's what a bulk of the increases are. And then we had, and the phone at the splash pad is out of service and needs to be reactivated, so we had to add some funds for that. And then for camp enrollments, we increased the enrollment. So here, there's some increases under the camp item. There's increased revenue. With that comes some expenses. So, but that again is going to be a positive bottom line there. And then we did increase some of our promotional supplies just because we want to be able to do a bit more promotions this year with our new marketing specialist. She had some great ideas, so we added that in. And then all the adjustments resulted in an additional revenue of $25,900 and additional expenses of $54,290. Which contributes to a new bottom line of $191,627. Following the memo is the ordinance. So you can take a look here and see on it's actually, if you're looking at it, it says page 49 because it's from the budget. So the final budget is $9,700,805 with an appropriated amount of $10,314,267. And so we're looking for approval of that ordinance today, Ordinance 2401. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion or questions on this? If there's no discussions, I would ask for an approval of the ordinance number 02401.
Second.
Commissioner Beer?
Yes.
Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
President Opid?
Yes. Agenda item 7.2, discussion and/or approval of the 2024-2025 capital budget.
So the only thing we added to the capital budget, everything remained the same. If you're looking at the budget packet, it would be on page 38. The only thing we added, which is going to be discussed further down in the board agenda items, is going to be an OSLAD 2025 grant for Gilbert Park. So we added $10,000 for White and Company to complete a application for OSLAD pending the board approval to move forward with the grant. So total capital projects is $2,425,000. Last month we presented $2,415,000. So that's the only change there.
Do we, just for my understanding, I know we'll discuss it later, but do we save any money on the Gilbert planning just because we've already been working with them on this other?
Yes.
Okay,
So when Wyola was closer to 20,000.
okay,
So because we already have the plans, it's much less.
okay.
So if you get an OSLAD grant, year one, and year two, your odds go down.
A little bit. But this is the last year where they have a surplus, so it's still going to be at that 600,000 versus the 400,000 matching. So we want to try to capitalize on it. And there's been many districts who have been capitalizing year after year, and we haven't. So we're hoping that we would have a good shot.
Further questions? Seeing none, I'll ask for an approval of the 2024-2025 capital budget.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
President Opid?
Yes. Agenda item 7.3, discussion and/or approval of policy section 820, employee classification and compensation plan.
Okay, so this is, if you look at following the memo, because this is a policy that we approve every 2 years. So the last policy was 2022 to 2024. So this one will run from 2024 to 2026. So we made some adjustments based on increased wages. I'm happy to answer any questions if there's any questions on the adjustments in the different grades. And we've been advised to remove grade 6 executive director because that is a contracted position.
These adjustments are primarily to respond to change in cost of living, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you'll see I did add, there is a finance and accounting specialist. That's not a new position. I wanted a little bit of flexibility with that as we're in transition with the new director of finance. Right now, Linda Muth, who is technically still our HR and administrative coordinator, but is handling more finance and accounting. We want to make sure that we have a spot to put her if we want to adjust her title or change anything. So that is why you'll see that one there.
Comments, questions on that?
No questions.
Okay, if there are none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the policy section 820.
So moved.
Second.
I'm giving it to Mike.
What did you say?
It was a tie. Okay, you won it.
Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes.
Okay.
Agenda item 7.4, discussion and/or approval of the grant agreement between the State of Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the Park District of the Grange. This is agreement number OS 24-2531.
So this is the standard OSLAD agreement from the state, and we have to enter into it to be able to receive the grant. Ansel Glink is familiar that we will be approving this agreement, and they advised us to do so.
How long do we have to finish again?
2 years.
I have no questions.
I don't either.
No.
Can I get a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve the grant between the State of Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the Park District of Grange, agreement number OS 24-2531.
Second.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes. Discussion and/or approval of White & Company Wyola Park Final Design Services.
So the agreements following, they are the ones who assisted in submitting our OSLAD grant. Within that grant submittal was the budget with their costs. And so this is now just solidifying those costs and allowing them to move forward with starting the work once we settle everything up with IDNR. So the amount, sorry, it's in my memo.
96,900.
Yep, 96,900. And again, that was the amount that was budgeted for within the OSLAD application.
Discussion, questions? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve final design service fees.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes. 7.6, discussion and/or approval of the temporary construction license for the Grange Little League at Sedgwick.
So this is actually, we're ratifying this. I apologize. So I did reach out. There was another confusion that Little League needed this temporary construction license to have Simmons out. They were under the impression that if they were doing spring cleaning or spring work on the fields that they did not need it. I think there was some confusion between if they were doing the work versus a contractor doing the work. And again, we're in a transition with staff, so there was no way to really solidify that. I did reach out to Michael Boutrone and explained that if they are bringing anybody in outside of Little League to call us, because we also had an incident with, thank you, Commissioner Posey, they're bringing in food trucks, which we didn't know about either. So she saw it in a posting and shared it with us. So we had to get that in track and get some agreements with Ansel Glink and direct them to the village. So I've let them know that if they're bringing anyone in outside of Little League, they should contact us. So hopefully we will rectify these challenges. So I did speak to, I think all of you approved it, so we just need to ratify it.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I move to ratify the license agreement, temporary construction license for Grange Little League at Sedgwick.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado?
Yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes.
And if I could just say on the record, as a Little League parent, I am pleased that there continues to be this effort to reinforce a friendly relationship between Little League and the Park District. So I'm happy to see that we, even though there's some little bumps in the road, that we're able to come to a reasonable conclusion.
Right. Well, and when Mike called me, he's like, "How can I make your week harder?" So it was kind of funny. So.
Also, I'm excited about the food trucks at the.
Well, very good.
So did the village approve that, or did they?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a great idea if they can get it.
they were willing to work with us because technically it's only for special events, but they were going to make an
I just
exception.
know the village wants to be part of those conversations too.
So.
All right, thank you. We'll move to agenda section 8.0, board business, old business. First, we'll discuss and will approve the Grange naming rights.
So, I put the policy under section 8. I spoke with the Little League president, Michael Boucheron, again. Again, they're open to anything. It doesn't have to be the field. They would just like something to be named after Susan Bonnevier. We did do a kind of a deep dive. I sent you the information we found. There was nothing, everything was positive on Susan Bonnevier. So we can look at, Commissioner Shabado, I know you spoke with Michael Boucheron too. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I mean, I had a conversation about him about the possible naming of certain parts of the ball field. I think the scoreboard would best reflect this situation. And I think they were in favor, and I think they also had a spot in their current scoreboard has the ability to add a nice name and plaque recognition up on the current scoreboard. And he said he was in favor of that.
And
sorry. It was a good conversation. I think he's not telling us what to do or anything like that. He's just asking us. They want to do a nice recognition, and I think that's like a good alternative.
And when I spoke to him about it, we spoke about that it would be the scoreboard for the life of the scoreboard. So once that scoreboard is taken out, a new one goes in, it would not be the Susan Bonnevier scoreboard. They could rededicate it to somebody else, or we could do something, so it's not a life naming rights.
And it's also the scoreboard that Little League purchased, correct, for us?
Yes. That is correct.
And they have the right to change the name too if they wanted to, I suppose.
Well, it would have to go, yes, it would have to go back through a process.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So with that said, the way the policy reads is there shall be a minimum of 60 days between the making of a motion to name or rename a park facility or amenity and the vote on that motion. So if you make a motion today to allow them to do the scoreboard, then we'd have to wait 60 days before they could do it.
It'll probably take that long to get designed.
So.
I move. Is there any discussion?
I'm open.
Then I move to approve the Little League naming rights request for the scoreboard,
For the life.
for the life of the scoreboard.
I'd love to second that one.
Second.
Too late.
Wait, who is doing it?
Too bad.
Oh.
I won't be here in 60 days, so
You take.
You gotta take them all, huh?
Make you work. All right, Commissioner Posey.
Yes.
Commissioner Shabado.
yes.
Commissioner Veer.
Yes.
President Opid.
Yes. Now, that means we need to vote again in June technically, right?
Yeah,
Which at point, I think the other thing is, do we need four?
we need 4.
For
Technically,
votes.
we need
Yeah,
4 commissioners to
yeah.
vote yes on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
All right, thank you. I'm glad we came to that resolution. I think it's a wonderful idea. So moving on to new business, 8.2, we will move to executive session. That was the approval of tax rate objection settlement letter. 8.3, discussion and/or approval of Gilbert Park OSLAD grant proposal.
so The OSLED grant has been released again. As I mentioned earlier, there are excess funds within the OSLED grants this year up to the $600,000 again. And so I talked to White about it, and because we already have the plans, again, it would only be approximately, it's in here, $10,000. It's actually $9,000. And looking at our budget and discussing with Selden Fox, I just want to make the board aware of a few different scenarios. So the first scenario is we'll apply for the grant, and if we move forward with the referendum, decide in August to go on the ballot, and we receive the referendum, the full 13.86 million, this will make this process much easier. We'll be able to have that matching funds very easily because we will have the bonds to match that. And then we'll also be able to take some of that bond money and apply it to different items because we'll have an extra $600,000. If the community comes back and they're not for the 13.86 million and we decide to do a no tax impact more closer to the 7.5 million and receive the grant, it would still be very doable because we will have that excess funds from the referendum. If we don't go for a referendum or receive a referendum and we don't have any additional funding, it will be a little bit tighter, and we will have to rearrange the capital planning because Gilbert was a little bit further down the line versus like Rotary or something like that. So we would have to move Gilbert up if we do receive it, and we would have to go into some of our fund balances because we have to front that $600,000, and we also have to front the $600,000 from the Wyola grant. So it will take, and sometimes the IDNR isn't very swift to reimburse. So I just want to make the board aware that we will have to maybe go into some of our fund balances and be under our fund balance policy to move forward with the grant. But we're comfortable with where we're at, but we would have to do some rearranging.
So I have a question.
Sure.
First of all, I'm in favor, like my philosophy is you don't get what you don't ask for.
Right.
However, we were just awarded an OSLAG grant. Mm-hmm. Where does that place us in terms of like just that alone? Does that hurt our chances? Because I wonder, is it wise to apply a year after we've already been awarded? Does that put us down on the list? Does that affect us? And is that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that, I'm not an OSLAD grant writer or grader, but there's been many districts who've received it year after year.
Okay.
And we have not received one, again, we just received one last year, but we haven't received one for 10 years prior. And so I do feel if we can write a strong grant and show that we're adding different new amenities, that we will be in a good position. And I also feel confident with White writing it as they did get us our last one. Their record for obtaining grants is very high. So I definitely think it's worth the $10,000 to try to get $600,000.
Why Gilbert?
That was my follow-up question.
Gilbert, because it is one of it's kind of the right size for the budget. So it's about 1.8 million. We would take out for the grant, we would take out the parking lot probably and leave the parking lot with the, with the referendum, and so it would be exactly about 1.2 million. So it's the easiest grant to write with all the amenities, and it meets the criteria of an OSLAD grant. If the Gordon and Sedgwick, those are much higher, and we want to do all the parks. So if we can get this and we get the referendum, it's just an extra $600,000 on top of all the projects.
Can you combine parks?
You can submit grants for different parks, but you can't combine them in one application.
What the timeline on this is it still the August, September application timeline?
Yes,
And the decision comes out,
January of 2025.
yeah.
So even, and then you have 2 years. So like, we just got the agreement, we still have to wait. They have to make sure there's no endangered species. So we're still kind of waiting. So even if we pushed it back to the second year for financial purposes, we would be able to do that.
Okay.
We would just need to make sure we follow the guidelines within the agreement.
Given that the planning work is done, I think it's foolish not to try.
And I mean, worst case scenario, if we do get it and the board feels financially we can't move forward with it or doesn't want to, we can withdraw, but then you are blacklisted for several years. So that is not something I would recommend, but we don't have to move forward with it.
And I'm sorry, the cost of the application,
Is $9,000.
$9,000. Okay.
And you can still issue bonds anyway, up to a limit.
Bonds,
Can we do,
non-referendum,
yeah,
we're at our limit.
for a limit right now?
We'd only have about 200,000, which wouldn't make sense. So,
We need 600 for this.
oh, yes. Again, I think that we would be okay with our fund balances. That I'm not too concerned about. Plus Kevin's making tons of money in rec. No pressure.
Sell some more stuff.
Country Jam Fest this summer. So your recommendation, staff's recommendation is that we do submit for this, and the feeling that you're getting is that, and I know that you can't, you have no crystal ball,
Right.
that it would be a solid application.
I think, yes, it would meet the criteria and we would have a good opportunity.
And obviously it depends on all the other applications, it's all
Sure.
moving parts. So it's still $9,000. That's the part that I'm struggling with, is that it's $9,000. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Sure.
Certainly spending $9,000 to have $600,000, putting those against each other, that makes sense.
Right.
I wish I had the crystal ball.
Well, and if you'd like a month, we could wait until next meeting to approve it. If you want a month to think about it, we can do that too.
So another question. Referendum's November, right?
If the board approves us to go to referendum, that has not been approved yet.
Let's say, to get it, you have to vote that, right?
Yes,
All right. So if we did go to referendum and we didn't pass, we would know in November.
that is correct.
So if we have an application in, can we notify them, say, well, we have to reconsider and just maybe push it off next year?
Before there's a decision.
Correct.
But we've already spent the $9,000.
I understand that, but you did push off for a year though.
I would have to ask if that's still, I don't know if you know the answer to that
I
question.
don't, we'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know the answer.
Because that would give us a window to defer until next year with the same application.
Or the other question would be, whatever we prepare, if we did it, could we just submit that next year if we need to?
Like wait a
Kind of
year?
the same question, right?
Yes, that it will, the application would have to be modified because again, this is the last year that's going to be that 600,000 that they're guaranteeing that higher rate. So it would have to be adjusted, the budget would have to be adjusted, and we would have to put in more money.
Yeah.
So they would put in 400, if it's a $1.2 million project, they would put in 400,000, excuse me. And we would then have to come up with $800,000, $200,000 more. So that's
If we do the same scope.
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's more uncertainty with the amount that we would get, given that we would defer it for a year.
Yeah.
less money, probably same amount of applicants
Right,
to go around.
Right.
So we have to think,
and increased costs in construction.
right, yeah, that's not going down. It
Right.
hasn't gone down, so.
Right.
And who knows what interest rates will be looking like
Mm-hmm.
either. So, as always, lots of moving parts, trying to be strategic and
Yes.
fiscally responsible.
Will we have the survey results from the referendum by next meeting?
No. That'll be presented in June.
I would like to get the information if we could have that window
Okay,
for voting on it. If we could.
sure. Yep. Yeah,
Is
we,
there anything else that would help us make a decision? Aside from having the survey, that would be helpful if we have that, but it sounds like that's not likely, but if there's
Yeah.
any.
I mean, I think we're gonna have a couple of, if my dates are right, we're gonna have a couple of resident input sessions, right?
3.
I'm thinking before our May meeting, those are all before the May meeting.
Okay,
So while that's not scientific, I think we'll get some feedback and maybe get a little bit of a feeling about which direction that's gonna go in.
and just for perspective, again, if I'm understanding correctly, we're talking about a $9,000 risk that we would be taking, because if I heard you right, even if we don't go to referendum, we have the money to support the second OSLAT grant. It certainly would be a lot better if we had a $600,000 cushion, obviously. So just to kind of, at least for me, to frame it in that way, that we're talking about $9,000. Is that right?
That's correct. And the other thing to keep in mind is we would have to reprioritize the capital list, because again, Gilbert is not that next year. We may have to push, like, I think Rotary is next year, next budget. So we'd have to push, that's what I want the board to be
That's the part that I
mindful.
struggle with too, because those parks in a lot of ways are really important to those neighborhoods. You know, the top parks don't get a lot of, you know, they're not like the flashy parks, but
Yeah.
those parks are used hard by young families.
Right, and that's why
So-
I'm bringing that up.
That,
But it would probably just be 1 year, and this year we were able to budget, we had a lot of, 2.45 million, and we got stone in there too. So we do have some fund balances, so we may be able to make, Rotary work, but I can't guarantee that until we really look at the numbers.
okay, so then Rotary, if we had to rearrange, so if the best case scenario happened, we get the OSAD grant, if we decide to go to referendum and the residents approve a referendum, then we would move the priority of capital projects for the parks around
All capital projects.
all capital projects. But the result of moving that around might only be a year for a park like Rotary.
Yeah, because I think Gilbert, let's see.
But it's safe to say we're committed, because we're committed right now to make improvements to Rotary and the other parks that need improvement. We're just trying to be strategic in terms of when, like where to put money in order to get the most bang for our buck,
Right.
so that we can
If we
move.
could get $600,000 in
Yeah.
free money,
Yeah.
it doesn't come from local residents necessarily, I think
Right.
that makes sense, right?
Like, my feeling is $9,000 is not that big a risk for us to go after 600,000, that if we were to get this, allows us to address a lot of other needs and have now 3 parks that have OSLOT grants, right? And improving overall.
Yeah,
I agree, I'm in favor. I would like to have a little more information though.
yeah,
So you just want to know if we can withdraw?
I would like that option where if we did not get approval for a referendum, we could have a better conversation about it.
Okay.
and I would like to get, if we can, some feedback from the residents to take their temperature on this a little bit, if we can.
On applying for the OSLAD grant?
hearing is there's a couple of areas where the commissioners would like some more information. I'm hearing there's no pressure to vote on it this evening, even if we come back in May,
We will need to know by next meeting,
we
though.
need to vote next
Yes,
meeting.
so they can start preparing the
Would
grant.
there be a consensus to table this until next month, pending the information?
Yeah, I am leaning one way right now, so, but yes, we can table it.
Okay. Why don't we table it for next month then, and we'll bring it back, but I feel like you're probably I would lean towards supporting it, unless we get some kind of weird answer, Bob, from your questions, but it seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's table that for now. We'll bring it back next month. Thank you for the discussion there. Let's move to 8.4, another exciting opportunity to look at Stony Park plans.
Okay, following the memo, you'll see 3 different park plans, option 1, option 2, and option 3. They're from 3 different vendors. The budget that was approved tonight is for up to $175,000. All these plans range between, I would say, 135, 140 to 175, so we fall within that price range. The project would include the replacement of the playground, replacement of the swing bay, concrete curbing around the playground, a new basketball pad and hoop, additional concrete to include a concrete pad adjacent and a bike rack adjacent to the front curb, so it'll be ADA accessible, and also a concrete pathway connecting the playground to the basketball pad, and then within the actual plan, 1 new bench, and then the picnic tables will remain. No action is going to be taken tonight. This is just to kind of show the board where we are with the project. The next steps are going to be to put this out to the community, these 3 plans, and get some feedback on it. So we'll do that via social media, email blasts. We'll have a sign at the park with a QR code to take the survey. And then we will bring that information back to the board next meeting for an approval, and then we would like to move forward with whichever option the board approves, and the lead time would be 6 to 8 weeks, and we will have a new playground.
What is the surface material here? Are you matching mulch in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I should mention that all the proposals are through the Sourcewell, or the competitive bidding is already in place, so we do not have to go out to bid for these projects. We did try to work with White, but their quotes were coming in higher. Obviously, there's a middle person, so when we went straight to the vendors, we were able to really get what we want at a more effective cost. So, any feedback on the designs?
I just wanted to say I really like the newer approach to the parent-child swing. I think is really great. We don't have any of those in our park system. You'll see that in option 1. I'm sorry. Yes, option 1 has it, I think. So I'm a big fan of trying to get one of those in the park. I'm sure we can swap that out. If we did a
Yeah.
plan. The other thing, on a larger scale, we talked about ADA, but really this isn't like, it's not it doesn't have, I don't know what you call the ones with the ramps where you can actually get onto the play equipment.
Yeah.
I understand this is probably not the size for that.
Right.
But my bigger question would be, in the larger scheme of things with the referendum, are there any other parks we're looking at making more ADA compliant? Because I think right now, do we have any ramps? As Denning maybe has one? I don't even know if Denning has one. I don't think it does.
Well, what type of ramp are you referring to?
There's a ramp so you can get onto the play structure. There's no stairs to get
Yeah.
up to the first level.
That Denning does not have that.
Okay, so
But those playgrounds will be designed as we go, so like Wyola, we plan to have more ADA accessibility throughout that park.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's on our radar, because I think the ADA implementations are a bit lacking aside from the swings with the locks. And to me, that doesn't scratch the itch of all of our residents.
Sure.
So while I understand this may not be the right place for it, I want to make sure we have
Yep.
an eye on it.
Yeah, and Wyola, that is the plan, to have it
Okay.
ADA accessible.
I don't have a strong opinion. I'd love to see what the residents say.
I like it quite right,
You look at my friends.
Yeah.
especially if it's basketball.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Otherwise, it sounds like we'll get feedback and go from there.
Are these all the same size as far as
They're very similar. That's what we tried to do.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to visualize, I guess, with these
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
Any final feedback? All right, thank you. Let's move to 9, committee reports, administration committee. Any reports this evening? Parks and Facilities Committee. Recreation Cultural Programming Committee.
So I ran into Jan Regan, who's the director of the Grange Art League, and she said that we were talking about the yarn bombing project. So we talked about maybe trying to revive that. And then also I just want to note something with respect to Gordon Park. That's really close to basically a large senior community. And I feel like whatever we do with that park, or that maybe we can try some programming at that park to recognize that there is a large senior community there, and also the fact that there's like the sandwich generation of families who are raising kids and also visiting their parents who are at those facilities. That may be an opportunity for us to do something kind of unique and fun there. And I can't remember if this is in relation to the farmer's market, but I've gone to some local LaGrange events where there was, I think it might have been the farmer's market. And actually, no, it was the farmer's market, but it was also last summer at Endless Summerfest. There were these gentlemen that came every day and sat and just listened to the music for like hours and hours and hours at one of the tables there. And if there's any way we can get like a chess set or something there, that might be something easy that we can do to get more people to use the park, especially on the end that's closest to those homes.
Northwest end?
Yeah,
So for being in that park, there are a lot of senior walkers midday.
Yeah.
I can see that, like 1 to 2 o'clock, it's packed.
Yes, sorry. Just the visualization was a little.
Well, you know me, I'm maybe a card holder, no. But sometimes I run over my lunch hour, and there's a lot of seniors there. So it does get a lot of use, for sure. Anything else on that, Stephanie? Just any color commentary?
I guess one other thing related to seniors, they must be in my mind this week. I was sitting waiting for my daughter to finish something in the entryway of the rec center, and there was a parade of just like the sweetest group of people. I don't know what they were. I thought maybe Pinnacle. Is there a Pinnacle? On Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday. And they were so delightful, and I just thought, gosh, we need to have more multi-generational things. I don't know what that thing is, but maybe that's something that we could do too. Because they were so sweet and cool.
It is a big focus for Brandon this upcoming fiscal year, is that demographic.
That's awesome. That's good. The
And-
multi-generational, that's great. I think that'll be well received.
And I would say, the band shell at Gordon would be very helpful in moving to that direction, because shade is going to be important.
Yeah.
There's not shade there's the shelter, but the shelter is very busy during the summer. So the band shell would be someplace where we can not only do music, but programming.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm happy to brainstorm with anyone. I don't know if
You have to go through
I go through Jenny first.
We're
Yeah. Okay.
rolling to it.
Great. Let's go to agenda item 10.0. This is the second opportunity for public comments of the evening. If anybody would like to add any comments after hearing today's discussion, we'd be happy to hear them.
Absolutely. Go ahead, you first.
Well, while I'm here, I feel like, oh, there's so many things you touched on. Yes, I Plymouth Place a lot. My mother-in-law lives there. There used to be a ton of trees there, and there used to be a pavilion. And I think that would be another way you could get more people there hanging out, is to have trees and a place you could sit in the shade. So clearly that's a big plus. So country jamboree, is there ever any consideration of zero waste events? I've gone to different events in Riverside and Oak Park, and you can have composting, you can hire somebody to do composting, you can have waste stations, right? You can ask your vendors to use compostables or recyclables, things like that, food trucks to generate a lot of waste. So is there, any way we can look at doing more zero waste events? Waste contributes to climate change, pollution, et cetera, et cetera. What else? Who on the board and staff looks at sustainability? I know we have consultants, but they're going to we're going to ask the questions, they're going to give us what we want, but who's asking the questions? Whether it's landscaping at the rec center, there are a lot of opportunities for native plants that absorb stormwater, support pollinators. Who's looking at all of that? Either a staff member that it's their expertise, or the waste. Who is your main go-to sustainability person on the board or staff? I have one more question. Plants indoor would be nice at the rec center too. There's a lot of light, and indoor plants might be nice as well for indoor air quality and to create a more welcoming environment. I know there was something else, but that's all I got for now.
Thanks, Rose.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you.
My question is on the green factor as well. You're talking about Gilbert and possibly redoing the parking lot over there. Well, that particular section where Gilbert is, that's like 80 acres of the village that's on a two-pipe system. Where the rest of the village is on a single-pipe system. They have a lot of flooding issues that are relevant. Is that around Bell Avenue there? Is Bell run close to Gilbert Park?
Yeah, Bell's on the north side.
They have some issues because the outfall for your storm sewers there goes to Salt Creek. And there's a lot of local flooding in that area. And there's two options. You could go there, and I think the village, is looking into that right now because they're working on the North Basin. And you guys could work together perhaps on this and get what you guys want and what they want. Now, they have the option of a vault, which the vault with a parking lot on top of it wouldn't be a bad deal for you, is where they could store some of their water there. Not that I'm a proponent of it. Or you go to the brick permeable pavers there, because all that water goes to Cossett Avenue sewer, or eventually goes down to the deep tunnel overflow, and it goes down East Avenue, and it goes over by my house at 47th and East Avenue. It dumps into the shaft, but we have restrictors there. So all the extra load that we could take off of the storm sewers going into the shaft that way would be a good thing, and it would help a lot of the other people in around the Sunset and Elm area there. Anything that we could do. And I know the Metropolitan Sanitary District hands out a lot of money for the paver parking lots. They're doing one in downtown Grange next to the Elm Restaurant. You guys explore any of those alternatives?
Well, we did apply for 2 MWRD grants, and we did not receive them for the 610 East Avenue property. We're always...
That's such a shame.
Yeah.
Because that is directly related to the Sunset Avenue, because that Cosset Avenue sewer fills and there's no place for the water to go.
Yeah.
What people forget, when this village was originally built, and it was on a one-pipe system, they had brick streets. We didn't have these problems.
Right.
And they covered all of those brick streets up. So they're gonna have to think about the green aspect, because they can't fix the problem until 2029, until the reservoir gets finished over on the other side of the Stevenson with the sanitary district.
Right.
But it's an alternative. And everybody's, thinking these vaults, but they could take care of a lot of their problems with just green streets. So I just want to throw that idea out, if that could incorporate into your planning to help the neighborhoods out too.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we looked at, with the 610 East Avenue. We are always trying to, improve our green initiatives. So, well, thank you for the feedback.
I think at the time that we did the planning for 610, we had several commissioners pushing for that.
I'm kind of hard of hearing.
Sorry,
so.
at the time we did 610, we had several commissioners pushing for the pavers. And we, as Jenny had said, we tried to get the money because it made sense to do it. And unfortunately, we couldn't get any grants from them. So,
yeah, it's a shame. We really need to look in a different direction there,
Sure.
Because they want to do a vault over at North Campus at the soccer field there. And I spoke with the engineer and I said, the problem is that's all a one pipe system. How do we not put contaminated water into that vault? And now we create a bunch of other problems with pathogens that breed in it because of contamination. It gets normal contamination from people that aren't responsible dog owners that don't pick up their feces and that matter. So, I just think this whole village has to turn around on their flood control issues and how they're going to handle it till they have to balance their system. And they're not finding the right way to balance it just yet. But I think maybe you guys could help them out a little bit too.
And I'll just add, just to wrap this up, we always do try to work with the village. We've been in communications about how we can partner together. And any of our plans, these plans are all preliminary right now for the 2024 park plan proposal. But we do have to go through village approval, MWRD approval, Cook County approval, and they all take the water management into consideration.
Yeah, exactly. So just tossing it out there.
Yeah,
for you
no, thank
before
you.
Run off and put in a paved parking lot. Maybe you can do something that would work out for the benefit of everyone.
Sure.
Thanks, John.
That
Appreciate
just
it.
reminded me of my third question was like, what were the plans going to be? I don't know if you have any idea when you asked why Gilbert, what is the rough idea of what you want to do with Gilbert?
All the plans are online.
Okay.
So I would go, if you go to our website and go to PDLG, all the way to the right, it says Park 2024 Park Plan Proposal. But for that park, it's the tennis courts, fixing all the tennis courts. The fourth tennis court would become a multi-use court. We'd take out the half-court basketball. There is, I'd have to go back to the plans. We have a lot of plans.
It's already on there, the full plan for Gilbert is
The
already
proposed
applied.
plan,
The
yeah.
proposed plan. I can
Yes,
check it out.
yeah.
No problem.
So
Thank you.
the playground,
Okay.
so.
And I just want to say that I second what Rose said. I think that we should do a lot more when it comes to natural plantings and sustainable initiatives.
That's Marianne. Get your name.
Donald Wilson.
Address?
958th Avenue.
What was it?
958th Avenue.
958th Avenue. Sorry, she's a regular.
Okay.
Natalie's new.
Okay, if there's no further public comments, I'd like to move to board comments this evening.
thanks to the regulars who come and the newcomers. It's always nice to have the public participate in this process, and we really are listening to what you have to say. So I appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule to come here tonight. And then I also want to say thanks to the staff and to Jenny and her administration. I've been on this board, I think I'm coming on my 3rd year now. And it has been a lot of change, a lot of transformation, and that's not a lot of time. And to hear the public see and appreciate the work that you guys have done is a testament to your work ethic, to your leadership. And so I want to publicly state that I think that's really impressive, and bravo to everyone.
I want to thank Michael for being
Mike
a
too.
great commissioner. Unfortunately, he found something better to do for a while. And congratulate him as well. I second Stephanie's quotes on the staff as well. And for our public participants, we welcome your input. And I think most of us are pretty sustainably minded. We don't always get everything right, and sometimes we can't afford everything right, but we try to do our best with it. So thank you for your comments on that.
I'd like to go first so you can have the final word. Is that all right?
Sure.
Thanks, Mike. It's been a pleasure working with you, and best of luck in your new role. On some other announcements, just remember we do have a park plan proposal information nights Wednesday, April 17th at 5:30, Saturday, April 27th at 9, and Monday, May 6th at 6:30 p.m. Those are all in the rec center. I hope you come out and share your ideas about the plan. I hope you get your neighbors to come out as well. I did get a lot of positive input from the community about the information packet that went out regarding the plan, so keep that up. I wanted to ask one question. Are we doing the pep parade this year?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I put it in the Friday update to save the date.
Okay, save the date. I'm just reminding everybody, save the date, because that's coming. And then one last thing, I'm looking forward to our diversity training session, which is on Friday. So I think Kevin, Jenny, and myself will be attending that. So thanks for the community diversity group for doing that. I'm excited and glad to see that that's happening.
Great, thank you.
And Mike, I'll hand it to you for the final word.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody, fellow commissioners and staff and Jenny and everybody that, I know it was short-lived, but I truly enjoyed myself up here. I think that the Park District's on to better and greater things. I think there's some exciting things happening in town, and I look forward to seeing it. And I want to just say thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
If we ever end up in front of you, please have mercy on us.
Yeah.
All right, at this point, I would like to go into executive session. We're going to go in for 12.1, potential claims and or litigation, 5 ILCS 122C11, as well as 12.7, the selection of a person to fill public office vacancy, 5 ILCS 122C3.
So
Second.
Commissioner Shabado?
yes.
Commissioner Veer?
Yes.
Commissioner Posey?
Yes.
President Obid?
Yes, at this time, we'll ask the clerk to kindly exit. You're welcome to stick around, and if you'd like, we can have you back in.